Hello everybody, welcome back to the Archives. I am Teemah, also known as the Master Archivist, and today we're finishing out Bad Batch Season 2. So before we get started, follow me on Twitch and YouTube for more Star Wars and sci-fi content. Thank you, and let's begin. So Bad Batch Season 2 is coming to an end here, and I gotta say, I love these clones. I love the stories. Everything that we've delved into, I felt the season was a lot more cohesive than last season, with more overarching stories and twists. And plus, just the way that it ended left us with so many unanswered questions that it's easily going to help propel us into Season 3 here. So this finale features a planet Eridu. It's the homeworld of Governor Wilhuff Tarkin, and he's holding a meeting featuring high-ups in the Imperial Empire, and we get some cool cameos like Director Orson Krennic. We also get Admiral Ramadi, and also Baron Coburn. So, of course, during the meeting here, it's kind of like a State of the Empire address from Tarkin amongst the higher up. We have Director Krennic giving an update on Project Stardust, which we know from Rogue One is a reference to the construction of the Death Star, meaning at this time that Galen Erso has already been captured and planning his revenge against the Empire, thus catapulting the events of the original trilogy and Rogue One. Admiral Mahdi also served in the Clone Wars, and once the Republic converted over to the Empire, he served as one of the first generals to be taken in by the Empire, and is featured actually in episode 4, sitting in the Death Star conference room amongst Tarkin and the ISB. As for Barton Coburn, he served in the Clone Wars under the command of Plo Koon, and was much like Plo Koon, especially shown in this episode, does view the clones more as human. He's one of the first to object to Hemlock, who in this meeting we do see he views the clones more as property, since that's been his MO at this point, is that clones are Republic property that the Empire can use how they want. So the Bad Batch see this opportunity to infiltrate and place a tracker on Hemlock's ship, just to locate Mount Tantus, and of course along the way, stealth was the option, but when they come across Saw Gerrera's group of rebels, is no longer the case. Gerrera, in the same way, sees this as an opportunity to take out high-ranking Imperial off, despite who it would affect, which we do see here. Saw Gerrera's actions does have a really big overarching effect, not just in Rogue One or Andor, but here, basically anything this man touches post-Clone Wars, really messing up for everyone else. Now this leads us into episode 2, the two-part finale, where basically now, with Saw Gerrera blowing up the building, this led the Bad Batch to have to retreat, now that stealth is no longer an option here. Now, I gotta say, I didn't expect the finale to go how it did. We do see Tech sacrifice himself in a very emotional scene in order to save his brothers. And he mentions using Order 99, which of course is a reference to Clone 99, who did sacrifice himself to save Kamino when the Separatists did attack. And then also we do see Sid kind of fulfill her legacy here, giving up the Bad Batch to the Empire, and that leads to Omega being captured and brought to Mount Tantus, where she's used basically as emotional leverage against Nala Se to help her engage in the clone experiments. One of the things to note about Kaminoans, which I thought was very interesting, and how it makes Omega so important to Nala Se, obviously it's this mother-daughter bond, obviously is the point, but if you ever look into Kaminoans themselves, they're not emotional people. They have no attachments, they have almost no feels. Even Taun We, who Boba Fett viewed generally as a friend or almost like a mother-like figure. He always notes in a bunch of books involving both of them that she has almost no real feel towards her. It just feels like more basic generated answers to any of his questions or thoughts. So to have Nala Se have this connection is really big in terms of a Kaminoan perspective. And pretty much that wraps it up for this episode. So of course we also do see Crosshair as well. Omega's reunited with them. I'm excited to see what happens, especially with Crosshair's defection. I like that they didn't push that more than they had to. You got it, he's captured, and then you just see him at the end with Omega, and I think that's perfect. Where it's going to go for Season 3, my prediction still is the Clone Uprising. I'm waiting for that. You remember as finale Season 1, the Kaminoans were talking about still training the remaining clones. I like to think that's going to contribute into the Clone Uprising. Anyone who's played Battlefront 2 and the 501st Journal section of it knows what I'm talking about. Eventually, Kaminoans are going to use the Fett DNA to make some of the last clones. Empire's going to catch wind of it, send everyone to wipe them out, and it's this. It's crazy. Go play that. Always go play Battlefront 2005. You're going to have a great time. But yeah, so overall, emotions were high on this episode. Plot twist, I thought, really bring the episode closer to the realms of Clone Wars and Rebels in terms of, how they stack against other animated features here. And we had great character development for Tech, which I think really made his potential death scene heart-wrenching. We're leaving it open. Obviously Star Wars is not really big on finalizing deaths, as we saw with Cobb Vanth. People are still saying Cad Bane's probably still alive from Book of Boba Fett. Palpatine somehow returned. So regardless, I hope you guys did like the episode. If you do, leave a like. Let me know in the comments what your favorite part of it was. And with that being said, thank you so much. I will be releasing the current episode of Mando sometime later this week on top of the new episode of Mando. So we'll probably get a double feature to catch us up. But with that being said, thank you so much. And until next time, may the Force be with you.